Hi there everyone and welcome along to the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Weekly Roundup here on Irish Horse TV. In this week's segment we're going to take a look back on the Irish Classics at the Curragh, where we'd wins for Magician in the 2,000 guineas and Just the Judge in the 1,000 guineas. There was also wins for some former Irish trained horses across in the States of the weekend, and we're also going to take a look back on the sales at Gore's Bridge and also a look ahead to the Land Rover sales which takes place at Goffs. Now to do all of that is Daithí Harvey, and he's from Irish Thoroughbred Marketing. Daithí, we'll start with the Irish 2,000 guineas, and that went the way of Magician.
Did indeed. Interesting to note that there's been 4 classics run so far in Britain and Ireland this year. All 4 have been won by Irish bred horses, which is quite an achievement. And Magician, as you say, kept up the good strike rate for Ballydoyle on Saturday at the Curragh. He was the 9th in a row ninth overall for Aidan O'Brien. 3rd in a row for his son Joseph. So a great achievement by the team, and another good success for Irish breeding. Magician, the son of Galileo, obviously top class horse. He won nicely on his seasonal debut in Chester, and he was looked top drawer on Saturday.
And at the time of recording, there's still a possibility he could line up at Epsom. If he does line up, do you see him as a real candidate for the Derby?
He has to be. He won over an extended mile and 2 in Chester. I know he's plenty of speed in his pedigree, but being by Galileo, and he's already proved himself over a mile and 2 and a bit, so I think there's every chance he'd get the trip in Epsom. And then he's obviously a classy animal as well. He's won a Guineas, so he has to have a huge chance.
That was the 2,000. The 1,000 went the way of Just the Judge by Lawman.
Yeah, brilliant. A first on several fronts. A first classic winner for Lawman, who stands in Ballylynch Stud. A first classic training success for Charlie Hills, a young trainer with a bright future ahead of him. First classic for Sheikh Fahad Al Thani of Qatar Racing, which is brilliant. Huge investor in global racing in recent years, so very important to see him getting top class success. He deserves it with the amount he's investing these days. And great result for Goffs. They sold the winner at their Orby sale, €50,000. And their second classic success for Goffs this year, they sold Sky Lantern, who won a Newmarket as well. So overall, a brilliant success, and nice one for Jamie Spencer as well, his first season as a retained jockey to the owners.
And they're getting a real foothold, aren't they? They've bought a 50% share in Secret Gesture as well.
Yes, they're obviously very enthusiastic and very keen to make a big impression on world racing, and it's great to have someone like that, as enthusiastic and young, with the funds available to make such a splash. And
tell us about the Sire Lawman.
Yeah, he was a son of Invincible Spirit, who's top class stallion as well. He was 3rd leading stallion in Europe last year. He was a classic winner himself, Lawman, and he's made a fantastic start to stud. Just the Judge was his 3rd Group 1 winner. So yeah, he's great future ahead of him. Right,
that was the Curragh. We're going to go to the States. We'd 2 former Irish trained horses land big prizes. Obviously, formerly trained by Peter Fay. He won a Grade 2. Yeah, he won in the West Coast in Hollywood Park. And quite a progressive horse. He was trained, as I say, by Peter Fahey in Ireland. He actually only cost $2,000 as a yearling, I think, in Goffs, the February sale. So he's turned into be one of the best milers in America. He was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Mile last year. He was behind Wise Dan and Animal Kingdom. Yeah. And he's won a couple of Grade 2s now. So what a horse. He's by Schwazier, bred by Deirdre Coogan. And he's been a marvellous horse. Progress is phenomenal. I couldn't get over it when I saw he won a Dundalk handicap in October, and he was 12 months later he was starting the Breeders' Cup Mile.
It's quite. He won his maiden in Cork, and a Breeders' Cup via Dundalk handicap. It's not done very often.
Right, that was obviously Tannery, formerly trained by David Watchman. He won a Group 3 at the Curragh, and he won a Grade 3 at the weekend.
She won filly actually by Dylan Thomas. She won a Grade 2 as well on the East Coast in Belmont. So she had real good form in Ireland last year. She won the Kilboy Estates race at the Curragh, and was bought then to go to America by Noel Dalton. So yeah, real good horse.
All right, that was the American racing with an Irish flavour. The sales, we've just had the Gore's Bridge sales. How did they go?
Very good. Yeah, very strong. Up. I think the figures are up 30% on last year. The aggregate is up to 2.4 million from 1.8 last year. So I imagine everybody will be very pleased with that. Great turnout of international buyers. I think horses bought at the sale were destined for about 15 different countries, which shows the good spread of buyers who were there, and some new faces there as well from last year, which was very encouraging. And overall, I think a great sale and great shop window for Irish Bloodstock.
What topped the lot?
It was an Invincible Spirit horse. Was bought by Rabbit Bloodstock. Going to training with James Tate, and Yeah, I think everybody will be very pleased.
Right, that was Gore's Bridge. The sales roadshow moves to Goffs in a couple of weeks to Land Rover.
Yeah, no rest. Different code. We're switching to the jumps next.
Yeah.
So Land Rover sale in Goffs in 2 weeks. So all systems go for that. ITM will be hitting the road next week, actually tomorrow as well, and just over to a sale in England. And then next week we're sponsoring a race in Stratford, and we'll be visiting a few trainers in the area as well, trying to drum up a bit of business. So hopefully it'll go well.
And we were mentioning it in last week's segment, the Land Rover sale has been the source of some very good horses over the years.
Yeah, its record is second to none. If you want festival winners, it's the place to go. Obviously, if you want real examples, like obviously at Fisher's Cross was bought there for only €20,000 by Aidan Murphy a few years ago, and he's gone on to win several Grade 1s and victories in Aintree and Cheltenham this year. So one of many examples.
Well, folks, that's it for this week on the Irish Thoroughbred Marketing Weekly Roundup. We'll be back next week to reflect on the Epsom Oaks and Epsom Derby. Until then, it's goodbye.